This is me winning an electric bike in 2014. It was way before Micromobility was even a name. It was at a time when I was working with a company where if you entered a little money into a donation for a Toys for Tots kind of a donation, you got entered in to win this incredible electric bike. 300 people there, and I win this electric bike. Now, a little history about myself is I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, for better or worse, as my wife would say. But in this instance, it couldn't happen to a better guy. So I'm using this bike all the time. I'm going to take it to Trader Joe's, to get some milk. I didn't need any excuse to get on this beautiful electric bike. And wherever I went, people would say, "What is that? Is that a motor? Is that a battery? How fast does this go? Can I ride it?" I think I get a record for the most test drives of an electric bike in a Trader Joe's parking lot in the world, just for the record. And so by using this, I realized this is extremely experiential. As we all know, and that's what certainly scooters, I believe, is what's gotten things to be so popular. And so it got me thinking. So I went and talked to all these other different scooter manufacturers of different vehicles. And this, by the way, is in 2014. Went and talked to some people with some scooters. You see on the right side there, there's a skateboard. We had this little trike-looking thing. And the idea was, man, if I like this, then they must like this. And so we went out and we started to kind of talk to the world, and we entered this contest with Verizon. It was called the Powerful Answers Award. We had a PowerPoint, a dream, and a lot of hope. And 1,500 companies from 78 countries. We ended up being one of the winners of it. And it was a fantastic experience. And we got a $250,000 kind of belief in this idea. And really what you're looking for as any entrepreneur is you're constantly asking yourself, am I on the right path? Ask myself that every day. And so this was a great valid sort of verification of that. And so that gave us a little bit of headwind here of, okay, let's go out there and really test this. Let's do some market testing. What is the vehicle? And so we went out there and we did what we called the electric roadshow. We bought a van. We went out and we got all these scooters, trikes. You can see the little mini Segways there, as a matter of fact. And there's a guy here on the right about to get on a scooter. And LinkedIn, Google, Netflix, Yahoo. I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, so you can hit a golf ball and hit a big tech company. And so LinkedIn, this is actually pretty momentous moment for us. They said, yeah, come on out. We got about 50 people that might be interested in these things. And our pitch to them was, look, we're going to show all these things to you. And if people like them, they can buy some from us. That's great. But more importantly, you can show all these people that are commuting every day into your campus different ways of getting around. Because the idea here is to eliminate that single occupancy vehicle trip. So we do this. We didn't have any corporate liability insurance. We hardly had we just had, basically just a little piece of paper you signed. And what we thought was going to be 50 test rides turned into 758. We remember that specifically because it blew us up. We were having people riding off in one corner without a helmet, chasing down another guy over here. It was fantastic in the sense that, wow, this is something. And this was before micromobility was even a word. And so we realized, okay, really what it's about to us is fundamentally all these things have to charge. And so we wanted to be this gas station, if you will, to the micromobility revolution. Or at the time, we called it LEA, the light electric age. We would convince investors, look, someday there's going to be all these things out there. People are going to be riding them, and they're going to be light, and they're going to be electric. And so our first incarnation of this was a solar-powered bike charging station. We deployed this at, this is a ribbon-cutting ceremony in 2015. It's not a connected system. It's pretty manual. The people checked the bike out at the front desk. They took a key, they unlocked the bike, and they used it to go on like a round-trip type basis. But we got really, really good at how to charge things and how to figure this out. So then we started to get better at it. This is actually Tesla's headquarters in Palo Alto. This is about 20 yards from where Elon Musk parks. You should have seen the look on the transportation manager's face when we were installing this, begging, please don't screw this up. Please don't. And so we had really successful deployments of figuring out how the different battery sizes. How do you detect a 36 volt versus a 48 volt type vehicle? And so all along, we're chugging along, and we kind of call this our Don Quixote days, because we'd be telling people, you just wait, these things are going to hit. And this is like 2016, 2017 now. And again, investors or VCs would stick their head out the window and go, I just don't see them yet. And you can kind of see where this is going. And so then we got better and better at it. This is all solar. We're at Google, Tesla, ChargePoint, the Santa Clara Valley Transit Authority. All very good validations of what we were doing. And then a funny thing happened along the way. Scooters hit. And, we started to go, there it is. This is the piece we're talking about. And as we know, you started to look at, okay, they're only in a few cities now, but you looked at the problems that they had in that moment in time, specifically parking, charging, gig workers, when they pick these scooters up, they're throwing 20 into a van, and cables get broken, throttle levers get broken, and cities weren't getting too happy about people driving in to pick them up. So we thought, okay, there's certainly a solution out there that we want to be a part of. We became students of the game. We became the birders and all the different charging folks out there to really understand fundamentally what are the pieces that need to happen to create this healthy ecosystem. This actually was taken a month ago in Venice Beach. When you look at just the parking by itself, it's a fundamental problem. We were meeting with one of the largest cities in the LA County area. She just met with all the different scooter operators evaluating one of the pilots that they ran. And so she said, Colin, I'm really excited for you to be here. You're one of the few companies out there that's trying to address the two fundamental problems, parking and charge. I said, great. What a fantastic way to start a presentation. So then I go, hey, what do you call these, by the way? Are they devices to you? Are they scooters, light electric vehicles? They all call them something different. She raises her hand and she says, Colin, we call them problems. Oh, okay. Well, that's fixable, because we're big proponents of this here, is what we told them. We said there is a way to do this where you can eliminate a lot of the issues with that. And if that's the case, then you get all the benefits, all the goodness that this brings to bear on massive cities such as LA. So we did our first big guerrilla marketing kind of movement at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas this last March. We went out there and we were there for a sanctioned event, but then later we just kind of went and put our system down in the middle of a highly congested area. And it was unbelievable to see just even what I call it the good neighbor does. People were just going up and parking these in them. It's very similar to how people, when they see a bike rack, they just park them in there, and then they plug them in. And so we started to talk more to cities and also more to operators. The cities are telling us, hey, we definitely want something. And we're not saying that you need to go back to a dock-based system. We're not saying that whatsoever. This is more of a semi-dock system in high traffic areas where the issue is so big. Austin has 15,000 scooters in a relatively small city. It's cluttered. They have people driving in to pick the scooters up. They were trying to find a way to eliminate that. From the operator perspective is they're looking to lower their unit economics. They don't want to have vans driving around locating scooters, picking them up. And so we said, all right, well, we can kind of address a lot of those things. And so we developed the world's first parking and charging system for shared electric scooters. This is actually one of our first deployments here in Europe. This is in partnership with BVG. It's a fantastic use case. It's a mobility hub. You get outside of a transit stop. There's a scooter for you. There's bikes. They also have EV charging and also the scooters that you actually ride. And so we started to really kind of get a little better with this. We're also partnered with Lime. Lime's deployed these on a campus with Deutsche Telekom and had fantastic success in a campus environment where they don't have to touch the scooters. Haven't touched the scooters in 30 days. Operating costs are zero. We've proven that. Now, that's a unique case for campuses, but then when you start to look at other type of areas to deploy this, we're also partnered with Spin, a fantastic partner of ours that is really kind of using this as a tool, not just to work with cities, but also to improve their operations as well. Some of the deployments we've been doing are at hotels. If you look at hotels, the dynamic has changed tremendously in that people now Uber and Lyft at hotels much more than we rent cars. We used to all rent cars, few of us do now, especially Micromobility, I hope. Now, you get outside your hotel, you need another way to get around, and ideally, you've probably gotten your hotel close to where you need to go. So a solution such as this to offer scooters, but in an orderly manner, and in a way that helps with these always being charged, you always get that uptime, is what we offer in a situation like this. Portland is another case that we're going in and deploying our stations where they've recognized by seeing all the different operators there that they want that universal system as well. They're going to be a great market for us that we're going to be deploying in January of this coming year. What ended up happening in Austin, and we're proud to announce this today here at the show, is as a result of them seeing this and a result of obviously subsequent conversations we've had with them, we've now been selected by Austin, and it's the first ever to happen in the world by a public municipality to select us to be the universal parking and charging system to work with the operators in a city. And so we're going to be deploying that in the early part of this year as well. And in that mode, it's very simple for the operators. Think of us as the gas station. We're putting these in high traffic areas where the parking is certainly an issue. And at the same time, you just simply plug the scooter in. They incentivize the riders to go there. So they might say, if you park here, you get a free ride on your account. And because they're in these high traffic areas, it only makes sense for them to charge. They don't have to go around and pick these up. The last piece on this that we offer is, obviously the data is extremely important. Think of us as a smart city tool that fits into a smart city. So we report all the analytics on it. We're showing how many charges have taken place. Specifically on a scooter, we can detect when it plugs in what voltage is that scooter, and we can know what charge to give that scooter, and then we can report how much exactly we did give it. We can even report, did it come from solar, where we'd prefer to use, because that makes it 100% renewable powered transit. This is one of the only applications out there that we can do here as disruptors in this industry, is to start showcasing pieces of that. Just like what Joe Kraus said, we all have to do our part to find a way to make this 100% sustainable in the best that we can. The last I'll leave you with this is a couple of pictures of my ugly mug in the media. And the only reason why I show this, we've had a lot of play in the media, is because it is so polarizing. You ask a 60-year-old person, pretty much anywhere in the United States where scooters are deployed, and they will tell you how much they hate them. It's just a fact, whether we like it or not. And I look at that and I ask them, well, why? Well, they're blocking my sidewalk, and they're going the wrong way down the street. Well, we've got ways to fix that. We can fix the clutter, and we could decrease the amount of people having to drive around and pick these up, because often in that instances, they're double parking and they're pissing people off because they're blocking the roadways. But I firmly believe in this industry being literally one of the catalysts for change for so many different ways. My daughter, she asked, Dad, where are you going? I go, I'm going to this thing called the Micromobility industry, Micromobility conference, where we actually officially launched our scooter charging station this last March. And I said, you know what it is? It's a room full of disruptors, people that want to change the world. So we're just trying to do our little bit right now. We're working with a lot of the different scooter operators, and we're open for partnerships, and we're looking forward to affecting change as much as we can in the world. Thank you.